Hello class. Okay, so this is the recording for 3.5, okay? The derivatives of trigonometric functions. So let's review a little bit about the derivative of sines, okay? So derivative with respect to x of sine of x. We studied this already. This is cosine of x, okay? Now let's go over the derivative of cosine. So the derivative with respect to x of cosine of x, here we go, it's going to be negative sine of x, okay? Yes, you have to know these very, 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 very well, okay? These two are, you need to memorize it right now, okay? All right, now example 1. Find the derivative of y with respect to x for the following. So the first one, you're given y equals x times cosine of x. I'm going to use the product rule. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to let u be x, okay? And over here, I'm going to let v be cosine of x. So what that meant is u prime is going to be 1. Okay, v prime is now going to, based on what we just wrote above, the derivative of cosine is negative sine of x. So based on the rule, now I'm going to do y prime is u prime times v plus v prime times u. This is just the formula. So now I'm going to plug in what u prime is. U prime is 1, okay, right here. V, normal v, is cosine of x, plus v prime is going to be negative sine of x, and normal u is simply x. So let's try to simplify this. Y prime is now cosine of x. I'm going to bring the x in the front, so minus x times sine of x, and this is as far as you can go, okay? There's not much you can do here, and box it up, and that's your final answer for the derivative of y. Let's move on to this one. As you can see, this is a quotient rule, and again, I'm going to let u be cosine of x, okay? Over here, I'm going to let v be 1 plus sine of x. Then we are now going to do u prime. Again, just like earlier, the derivative of cosine of x is going to be negative sine of x. And v prime, the derivative of 1 is going to be 0. The derivative of sine is going to be cosine of x. So I will now write the formula. Y prime equals, the formula of a quotient is u prime times v minus v prime times u all over v squared. And no, you can't switch those, okay? The u prime times v minus v prime times u has to be in that order. So from here, I will now find u prime, which is this guy right here, negative sine of x, times normal v, which is this guy over here, 1 plus sine of x, minus v prime, which is cosine of x, times normal u, which is cosine of x again, okay, all over v squared, which is this guy, but I just need to write it as like that, 1 plus sine square of x. Oops, 1 plus sine of x. I got ahead of myself there. Okay, so from here, I'm just going to slowly distribute stuff. Okay, are you guys ready? Negative sine times 1 is going to be negative sine of x. Negative sine times sine is now negative sine square of x. Cosine times cosine is now cosine square of x. All over. I'm going to leave this right here undistributed, okay? My goal is to see if things can cancel. So as you can see, on the top, I got a normal negative sine of x and a sine square and a cosine square. So let's try to see if you convert this all into sine. So I'm going to convert cosine square into sine, okay? So that's my next step. Negative sine of x minus sine square of x minus cosine square is 1 minus sine square of x. So all over 1 plus sine of x square. Keep on going, right? negative sine of x minus sine square of x minus 1 plus sine square of x all over 1 plus sine of x, and then square on the outside. So it looks like I can cancel this guy and this guy. Oops, I've got an x here. So right now, those are gone. So keep on simplifying. Here we go. I'm going to write negative 1 in the front minus sine of x in that order. The reason is that I can see that the bottom has 1 plus sine of x, and I want it to be in the same order, with the hope that I can cancel, in which now I'm going to take out the negative 1, which now that will line up with my bottom. Now whenever you can reduce, you have to reduce, right? So that's why I did not multiply that out. I want it to be in factor form, so when I can reduce that. So guess what? This is the derivative of y. Okay, so this is y prime. Now, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause it, finish writing, okay? Now, let's go over here to the bottom, and there's one more, okay? And as you can see, this one says, try this on your own. That means I want you to take a minute or two and try on your own, and we will check the answer in class tomorrow, okay? Just to give you a hint, the answer is not going to be as nice as the one that I just got done, but try it anyway, and then tomorrow we'll talk about your answer.